Pressing too many funny buttons this morning as it's opening day at Churchill Downs. I know first race today is not going to be until, what is it, about 12:45 p.m., so 11:45, so pretty soon, no?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I think it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so that's 12.
Oh, I have the wrong day. I have Saturday on there. Yes, so it starts at 5 o'clock Eastern. Yes,
yeah, that's what I meant, 5. So it's 3 o'clock our 2 o'clock my time and 3 o'clock yours.
I was looking at Saturday. The reason I was looking at Saturday is because I'm working on the wagering guide for the Iroquois and Pocahontas Stakes, the beginning on the road to the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks for 2025. You will find that over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet probably sometime tomorrow. So make sure you head on over there for that. Today, if you want some free picks, the best place to go is Remington Park. There is a link in the description down below. You see Remington Park. I feel like there's a lot of horses with good chances to win there at the top of our ticket today. Make sure you do that. Sometime between now and opening race at Churchill today, you'll find all of our comments along with the replay of the show at horseracingtoday.net. Click on the link. It'll be right here on the middle of the front screen. You won't be able to miss it. And then also you can't miss this HRT gear link. Please click on that. Head on over to our shop and get yourself some great horse racing today gear. Tonight, Buffalo Bills playing the Miami Dolphins. Get yourself some horse racing today football gear. Only 4 days left to save 15% and get free shipping, Terry. We're just about giving this stuff away, my friend.
That's right.
Great way to help the show. And most importantly, you will look great. Hopefully, we can help pay for some of that by finding some winners today, Terry, at Churchill Downs. We had some nice winners yesterday, too, at Kentucky Downs on their closing day. So that was a good positive thing there.
Yeah.
What's happening in race number 1?
I did pretty good yesterday at the end of the day, so that was good. But in the first race here at Churchill Downs, we're going to go 6.5 furlong. It's a maiden claiming race, $50,000 claiming price, $58,000 purse for maidens 2-year-olds.
Yeah, 2-year-old maidens. Great way. That's how they close Kentucky Downs, 2-year-olds. That's how they're going to open Churchill Downs. Great way to get started. Well, fortunately, we have some ability to tell you what the type of horse that wins at 6.5 furlongs at Churchill Downs looks like. And Churchill is known for a speed track, so not surprisingly, 6.5 furlongs does favor horses with giddy up and go when the gates open and the dirt starts flying. 34% of them. There's only 134 in my book. That is Walter Payton. Walter Payton goes wire to wire. There's an inside to outside edge, particularly for the inside 3 horses. We do 1,000 simulations. We want to know who has the best chance to be on the lead when the race gets started. And then based upon our projected early pace, which horses are likely to get a race that mirrors their best performances. The higher the number, the better the likelihood is today's race will line up with their best performances. On the Q30 score, looking for something around 30 with some high speed. Those horses have a great chance to go wire to wire. Our par plus score, we did our simulations. 18% of the time, Brave Words managed to run a speed figure of at least 78, which is the Brisnet average winning speed figure for the conditions. And then, of course, we want value, Terry. We want our simulation odds to be lower than post-time odds, so we get more than we pay for. That's always what you're looking for as a consumer. Terry, what do we see here in terms of the early speed?
Well, the 2 and the 1 show the most speed, and they're pretty similar speed, so they might go head-to-head if they get out of that gate at the same time. The 2 has an overlay from 4-1 and 6-1. 4 has an overlay from about 5-2 to 8-1, and that 11 has an overlay from 4-1 to 5-1. 4, 11, and 2 show the only par plus numbers, and all but the 6 and 7 show C zones.
Now, it's important to keep in mind they're all 2-year-olds, a lot of which are making their first starts, at least 2 of them, the 6 and the 7. A lot of them are making their second or third start, so limited career. So that means limited data. Limited data in means limited reliability on the outside. We also do trip handicapping. We want to know where on the track they want to line up, where they do their best. The E-horses are your pilots. EPs are co-pilots or pilots. The Ps are your co-pilots. PCs, I call them the flight attendants. I still want to call them stewardesses, and I know that would get me in trouble, but they can go anywhere on the plane. Your closers, right in here, they sit and coach. And then you got the NC types. They're still waiting on standby to get on the plane. They have not finished within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line just yet. 6 and 7, they're nervous. They're flying for the first time today. Trip handicapping turns into pace handicapping to see how they match up. Does look like the one horse along with the two. Well, you got plenty of them all within 5 points of each other. Terry, 5 points equals 1 length. Any of them stumble, any of them are slow out of the gate. They could be in first place at the quarter-mile marker, or they could be trailing the field. At the end of the race, we do see a bunch of horses with some similar late speed, although Brave Worlds, the two-horse that got out of the gate pretty quick, also has the most late speed. So our top total pace horse, 5 points clear of the 4, a little bit better than the 1, a little bit better than the 12. You got a couple first-time starters. 2-year-olds, anything can happen, Terry. What will in your view?
Well, I like the 1, Sell It. He has finished, he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 20% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race, and the rail post is winning at a 22% clip. He has a high percent winning jockey. I like the 12, Colonel Yoke. He finished 3rd versus Tupper in his last race, drops in class today. He has a high percentage winning trainer. I like the 11, Asleep at 8, should improve while returning to dirt, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race. And then Hank Hill, the 4, by long shot. He ran 2nd in his last race, has the highest last speed rating. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. We get a $100 budget every day without including we get some pick 4s, but so I'm going to start off with use $12 of my budget by taking the 1, 4, 11, and 12 in a $1 exacta box.
Christopher D'Souza going with the 13 horse, Baby Boom. So if you get a boom with a boom, is that a couple of booms, Chris, if it wins? How many booms do you get if you got a boom with named Boom? That's the question of the day today. If you have any picks or comments or your own codes today, you got Jack of Trades, 2 groups. Group 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. Group 2, 1, 4, 6, and 7. So keep those groups in mind. Jack of Trades will let us know which group we should consider from race to race. I like the 6 horse in here, Terry. It's 2-year-olds, so anything can happen. Not surprising that we have plenty of disagreement. Down the Islands is a first-time starter. Gets 2.5 out of my 3 points on the scale. Does have a classic 5-furlong workout at his last. The old-time handicappers used to say first-timers have to have a 5-furlong workout as their last work before running today or going live for the first time. Brave Woods, we saw all the good things in the trip handicapping as well as the pace handicapping. Another good thing is this one's a maiden special weight dropper. Maiden special weight drop to maiden claiming, one of the biggest drops in all the horse racing. Just needs to show some more improvement in its 3rd career start. If it improves as much as it did in its 2nd career start, the rest of them are likely running for 2nd. Hank Hill, the 4 horse, another one of those horses that it can take a similar step forward in its 2nd career start, and that horse will have a good chance in there as well. Then I got Colonel York in there. That one, Terry, scratched in for me at the very last minute. It was a tough call for me over the 1 horse. Probably should have went with your 1, but that's okay. With the speed, I'll stick with the 12. I'm going to play rolling pick 3s today. 2, 4, 6 over to 1, 2, 3 over to 1, 4, and 12. Really don't get a chance to do that often, and I feel like that's a pretty good way to do that. You only get 2 booms. I think you should get 3 booms. 1 plus 1 equals 3 or something. I don't know. Race 2 is what we're going to do for our next set of discussions. Terry, what do we have as far as conditions here?
Well, we're going to stretch out to 1 mile and 16th, and it's an allowance race, $30,000 with a $54,000 purse. And it's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $30,000 or less, and which have never won 3 races. The profile of 1 mile and 16th winner on the dirt course in Louisville.
Early speed, 18% managed to take the field from gate to wire. It's a small rail bonus for Gilded Kraken, that big favorite right there. 2 and 3 get a discount. 4 through 7 is best. 8 and out has been bad, Terry. So a little bit of inside speed could find its way into the winner's circle in a short field, and a couple of them with some early gas.
Yeah, they all show some speed, but that 3 shows the most speed, followed up by the 1. And then, so I think the 3 will get to that quarter pole first. And then that 5 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 6 to 1. All but the 4 has a par plus number, and they all have C zone numbers. And the 4 has a pretty high Q 30 number, 28%.
Almost 30 right there. You got a couple of them up there. It looks like the 3 and the 4 have I'd say the 3 probably looking at this best chance to go wire or the wire if that's your handicapping style. It's also the lone E horse over here too in our trip handicapping. The 4 wants to be more of a co-pilot. The 1 and the 2, those 2 that showed a lot of speed in our simulation, they're PC type, so they can go forward. If the 3 goes too slow, they can say let's giddy up and go. If the 3 goes too fast, they can decide to be patient and try to find position instead. Everybody else kind of wants to be at the end of the pack. Gilded Kraken and Dance Some More, the 2 we did see in our simulations, they want to be forward. I suspect the 3 being a little bit more lead dependent might try to clear the 1. It's got to be careful not to work too hard. If all of that speed goes too fast, Harleasy has about a length of more late pace than everybody else, although that one could be 2-3 lengths off of the lead when the race gets going. So a lot of ground to make up. Then finally, Gilded Kraken and Dan Samo, they look like they're about 3/4 better than the rest of the field. Only JT's Imagination looks like it might be overmatched here, Terry. We both have the same 3 picks to get started.
Yeah, I like the 1 Gilded Kraken. He ran second versus similar on the turf, and his last race has the highest last speed rating and has the highest speed figure today's distance and a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. So lots of boxes marked off. Number 3, Dance Some More. Mo is my second choice. Ran second in his last race, has a trainer, wins 18% of the route races he has a horse competing in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 2 JT's Imagination has won 2 out of the 4 starts at Churchill Downs, so he likes the track. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like, as my long shot, Mucho Mojo. He ran second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and they put blinkers on today to keep his mind on business. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4, Don Johnson, Miami Vice, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the 1, 2, 4, 8, with the 2, 8 finishing up with the 2, 3, 9. That's a $48 ticket.
I'm going to begin with the 1, 2, Gilded Kraken. It's the favorite. I'm not always a fan of that, but Tyler Gaffleone rode the 1 and rode the 3. Decides to stay on the 1. I don't know what that's worth, but clearly the odds maker feels like Gilded Kraken's the best. Looking at the numbers, we see it's a simulation favorite, strongest par plus, highest C zone. Lots of reasons to back that one. Dance Some Mo does have the most back class, should hold speed longer in the second start after layoff. If you look in the last race here, was its first start up, and you see that speed kind of tailed off at the finish. So, that's the wrong horse. There you go. You see the speed kind of tailed off at the finish, and I would expect you'll see that speed hold a little bit longer today as a lone E horse. JT's Imagination, boy, in our pace handicapping, that was all the way at the bottom of the pack, and it's probably fitting because this one's all or nothing at Churchill Downs. 4 races out, won 2 of them, and if he doesn't produce that kind of effort, probably will be at the bottom of the pack, although it's never been off the board in the 3 times running at a mile and a 16th. And then finally, the 5 horse, Harleasy. This one has a lot of late pace relative to the rest of these horses. So if a lot of those horses that are similarly matched kind of go out too fast, one should be picking up the pieces at the end, maybe finishing 3rd, maybe 2nd to clean up the exacta trifecta, and take a really good shot to be no worse than in the superfecta. Again, I got my rolling pick 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 12, 2, 8, 12. But my pick 4, I'm going to single the 1 here. This is really more about the last race in the series with the 1, 4, 10, 12, with the 8, 12. And then I'm going to go all in that 5th race because I think any horse quite literally can win that one, and we'll talk about all the reasons why when we get there.
Okay.
Race number 3 is next.
All right. So on race 3, we have 1 mile with a maiden claiming race, $30,000 claiming price. Purse is $50,000, and it's for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, and unlike a lot of other tracks, it's, when I first started doing the horse racing stuff, people talk about 1-turn mile, 2-turn miles, and that can be a little bit confusing, and you're kind of unsure what's what. But here you see we have a 1-turn mile over here, and that the 1-turn miles, while they are routes, anything a mile or longer is considered a route. Having 1 turn instead of 2 turns, really, they tend to act more like sprints than they do route races. So early speed's probably a little bit more in play in a 1-turn route. And that's the case here. Stalkers being middle forward is the best way to win it at a mile on that 1-turn race at Churchill Downs. 16%, so it's still a decent number. Managed to run that entire mile on the lead. You get an inside 3 small discount. 4 through 7 is a bonus. And then 8 and out, a small discount too. So it looks like the horse is in the middle of the field, Terry. Get tactically the best trip. But if you want some speed, where do you want to go?
Well, most of them show some kind of speed, but the 3 that show the most speed is 11, 8, and 12. They are pretty similar, so they could probably go head-to-head to that quarter pole. That 1 has an overlay of 4-1 to 6-1. The 4 has an overlay from 2-1 to 5-1. And that 12 has an overlay from 4-1 to 6-1. And then all but the 11 have par plus numbers. All but the 1 and 10 have C zones.
In C zone, our comfort zone score, we want it to be a 50% or more. I mean, it's not a deal maker or deal breaker, but if you have a 50% chance to get a race that matches your best performances, it puts the horse in a good place to run a good race today. Our trip handicapping for race number 3, all these horses that want to be in the back. The 7 hasn't been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. 8, 11, and 12 at a distance that favors horses that get forward. They could absolutely have a strategic advantage, especially if they can get out early. Looks like the 10 horse is the one closer that could be in the middle of all of that mix. It's a pretty big drop off to More Hope then. So those 4 should get out front. They're all on the outside. So it'll be interesting to see which one of these on the inside, because certainly the trainers and the connections see what we see. I'm certain that one of these on the inside will take a trip towards the front today too. John's Street Band, that has the most late speed, along with Mo Hope and Active Duty. They're considerably quicker than everybody else down the stretch. Our top total pace horse here being Mo Hope, along with Lucchesi, Remarkable Mo, and Sesame Streak. The top 4 total pace horses produce about 7 out of 10 winners. Terry, is that winner in your picks?
Well, we'll have to just see if it is, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like Active Duty, the 4. He ran 3rd versus similar in his last race. He has the highest last race speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Tiz Claiming is my second choice, number 2 horse, has a high percentage winning trainer. And this trainer wins 18% of the time when he uses Lasix for the second time on a horse. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. And that combination of that trainer jockey in the last 14 days have been in the money 3 out of 7 starts with 2 wins. And then the number 1 horse is my third choice, Mo Hope. Drops in class today and may improve with blinkers added. And then I like as my long shot, the 8, Lucius. Oh, well. Anyway,
Lucchesi, I'd probably go with Lucchesi.
He ran 3rd versus similar in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the maiden claiming races he has a horse running in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me in this race.
I, too, am going to put Call of Duty at the top, or Active Duty if they're Call of Duty, confusing it with the game that all the kids play. I mean, it's run at Churchill 6 times, has a couple of seconds, a couple of thirds, did run the top last race speed figure a little while ago, I think back in July. Does have some nice workouts since then. Seems like this is a horse that likes the Kentucky track. And I remember Mike Smith saying how horses run at Churchill pay particular attention to workouts and how they actually run there, because the surface is like running in peanut butter, he said, unlike most other tracks. Mo Hope, the 1 horse on the rail, catches my second pick. And here, Second by the length, the only other time that he ran at this level. So coming back down in class to a level where he almost won. Maybe today is graduation day. Number 12, Burnin' Hot. Well, this one is a class dropper off since July. Some strong workouts, and one of them was burning hot on August the 15th. Ran 4 furlongs in 47 and 4. You know what they call that, Terry?
Fast.
I think he could be sitting on a strong race today. And then I'm going to go at number 10, Remarkable Mo, as my fourth pick. Returns to dirt today. I'm going to run at the lowest level of his career. I noticed lowest level of their career in my race notes when I go back and review who won after the day's races are over. 1, 4, 12, 2, 8, 12, 3, 9, 14, making it into my rolling pick 3. Off to race number 4 as we roll on, Terry, to the races. Let's talk about the conditions for the fourth one today.
All righty. It's 7 furlongs, claiming race, $20,000 claiming price, purse $52,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races or 3-year-olds. I don't know what that means.
Or 3-year-olds. All right, so Tafon, we had a lot of winners yesterday, so I don't know how you lost all your money. So
yeah,
and you keep coming back, so that means you must not be losing all of your money.
Yeah, we had quite a few, didn't we?
We had a bunch of them as the first picks too, and so yeah. And then I think that 10 horse. I don't know if that was your bet of the day that paid like $10.
Yeah.
To win the Loot. What was the name? Loot something or another. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know where that comes from. All of our videos are up there. You can go watch them on Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube. You see our links down there below. If you haven't done so already, kindly hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all of our social sites. And I would recommend going back through some of our older shows where we did the Players Edge podcast and had on guests, or the Horse Center shows where we also had on guests in the horse racing industry. A lot of wonderful information, some good laughs in there. But I think you'll find yourself, kind of binge watching. I go back and watch some of them. I start binge watching our own old shows. So for the fourth race at 7 furlongs, that weird distance, it's a tweener route, tweener sprint. Still one turn, though, so it's going to act more like a sprint. Again, middle forward at Churchill Downs, a good place to be. 17% winning, gate to wire. This case, the outside horses have a better chance to win than the inside horses, although the rail does outperform posts 2 and 3. So, Terry, are there any Buffalo girls on the outside with a lots of speed?
No, they all show some speed, so it's really anyone's guess. The ones has the most speed is at 6. But anyway, the 3 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 10 to 1. 4 has an overlay from 15 to 1 to 30 to 1. And all but the 11 show par plus numbers, although they're not real high. And all of them show C zones, but the 10 and 11 have pretty nice high C zones.
Yeah, well above that 50% threshold. And really nobody's scoring high. So even distribution on the Q scores. So everybody should, get out of the gates and kind of probably be where they want to be on the track. If we take a look at this, everybody wants to be middle forward. You have a couple in here with the 2 and 7 and the 8 and 11 with some versatility. So they're not locked into any particular running style. Again, if the races go fast, those 4 can prove to be a little bit more patient. If they go too slow, well, they can prove to say, let's go pick up the pace, fellas. Early speed does belong to Extra Halo and Town Branch, the 6 and the 7. The 6 probably being more lead dependent than the 7, both of which are going to have to find a little bit more late speed. You see their numbers in red there. The green types belong to Dazzle Me Silver along with Uncle Burley. Those 2 about 3/4 of a length quicker than the inside 3 horses. So if they can get a good positioning, maybe you can run wide of those horses. On the outside, Dazzle Me Silver, Uncle Burley, 3 or 4 points better than Stingy. And Eddie M, again, the top 4 produces about 7 out of 10 winners. Terry and I agree on the winner in this race.
That's right. I like Dazzle Me Silver. The 8 finished in the money in all 3 of his starts at Churchill Downs, winning one of the starts. It has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 30% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes, has a high percentage winning jockey, Stingy. Anyway, the 2, second choice, finished 3rd in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then number 6, Extra Halo, is my 3rd choice, won his last race, has highest last speed rating, is the best of the bunch, and he has a high percentage winning jockey, Uncle Burley. The 12 is my long shot. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets for me here.
Okay, you can head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet today. We did do Indiana Grand. You see it right there, Horseshoe Indianapolis. You can go ahead and pick that up right there for your contest today. Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description below, and then you can also play Remington Park for free. So kindly take advantage of that, Tatham. You'll find 3 best bets in the course of the Horseshoe Indianapolis card today. And for me, in race number 4 at Churchill Downs, I agree with you, Terry. We're going to start off with Dazzle Me Silver. Going to drop in class, a hugely consistent runner, particularly over the last 5 races. Any of those handful probably produces an effort good enough to win this race. Uncle Burley, the 12 horse, does have the most upside in the race. If he can run back just 2 starts ago, you can chalk that guy up as an easy winner. Number 2, Stingy. That one, Terry, probably been squaring up against some of the better competition in here, so maybe facing a lighter crowd today is the ticket to the winner's circle. And then finally, number 10, Supremely. Tough call for me over the 5 horse. Well, not so tough anymore because that one's scratched. This one's making the 3rd start after a layoff, and the resume says that the 3rd race should be better than the 2nd race. This guy does have a lot of pop at the end of the race, so expect him to show up as they make the call for the drive home. Again, my pick 3, 2, 8, 12, 3, 9, 14, 4, 6, and 7. A little earlier, I alluded to, here we go, Christopher D'Souza on the 4. He likes the 3, the 2, and the 6. So we all agree on the 2. Terry's got the 6 in there. I'm the odd man out on all of that. Does not like the 8 horse, Christopher D'Souza. Jack of Trades. Rich, your show is great. Doing a good job. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Jack. And maybe I know a registered site called Tayfun, but I cannot open it. Also send money, but it does not open. All right. I don't know what to tell you, my friend. That should work for you. I don't know why. It's probably more a Turkish government thing than on our end because I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. I'll show you a little trick, Tayfun, that might help you, but it's not going to give you all the picks. So you go to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, you go to Free Picks. Today you see Horseshoe Indianapolis is running. Hit that, and all of the first picks you'll see are listed at the top. You may not always want to go with the first pick, though, but there you go. Every single first horse pick out of the 6 that we select. It's a little bit of a cheat code, and it's available for all of the tracks running today. So Hawthorne just as well. All right, Terry, enough of cheat codes today. Race number 5, I alluded to this a little bit earlier in my pick 4 selections. I alled this race, Terry. You're going to tell us what it's all about, and then you'll probably understand why I alled it.
Well, I know why I alled it, but it's a 6 furlong maiden, $120,000 purse, and it's for maidens 2-year-olds, and there's lots of them that have never been out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them in there, which makes it even more interesting.
Yeah.
What do we have in race number 5? We have a 12-horse race. A lot of them have never run before, but we do know the way you have to run at 6 furlongs is with early speed. Usually about 5 out of 16 win wire to wire, or 31%. I know we promised there would be no math class in here. Outside is better than inside. I wrote in my notes, all race for sure, Terry. We don't have any simulations. We don't have any pace numbers. We don't have the ability to trip handicap. The only thing we got is pen, paper, intuition, some experience, and hopefully a little bit of luck. So when you put all that together, what did you come up with?
I like number 3, Free Country. He's a first-time starter whose dam has 7 winners from 7 starters, 1 stakes winner. The breeding suggests he'll like the sprint distance, has a bullet workout on September 5th, and a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like Middy's Gritty. The 2, another first-time starter whose dam has 5 winners from 6 starters, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and a good workout on September 7th. And then the 9, El Pestero, I don't know. He ran second versus similar in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 10 Campaign Trail as my long shot. He ran third versus similar in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with another horse. Has a good workout on September 6th. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 3. I'm going to play the 2, 3, 5, 9, 10 with the 7, finish up with the 1, 9, and then I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, single the 7, then I use the 1, 6, 9, 10, and finish up with the 3, 5, 7, 10. I believe that's a $48 ticket.
Something along those lines, for sure. I agree with Rich on 14 Bob. There's some codes involved. Fantastic. For the 12 horse for Jose Manuel Camacaro. There you go. Coming all the way up from Venezuela. Thank you for joining us. No matter where you are in the world, let us know where you are in the comment section. Say, hey, say hi from wherever. I know we get people from Turkey, as we have from Tafum. Now we have Jose from Venezuela. We see people from all over the world. I'm looking for one from North Korea, though, because I go through the Google to see every now and then where people are coming from. To understand there's only one person with internet access in North Korea. That's Kim Jong-un. So I'm curious, Kim Jong, are you playing our picks? I like the 14 horse in here as my top pick, Terry. And the reason being, I grade everything on a 3-point scale based upon the trainer's win percent on debut, along with the horse's breeding. About the only time I pay much attention to breeding, and then the workouts. And I know we had this big discussion, Charles and I, when he was here, about what workouts mean. And I have that 12-second rule. So for every furlong, right, 1 furlong times 12. So 3 furlongs, you can kind of toss that out because any horse can run fast. So 4 times 12, 48 seconds. So or 5 times 12, 60 seconds or 1 minute. So when you look on the 14 over here, this one's just to kind of keep the razor sharp, Stephen Covey. But look at all these back in here, 47, 47, 47, 36 again, and then 34. And they're all breezing. That tells me, Terry, that this horse, they're not asking that horse to run. He just runs fast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I do, yeah.
So that's why I'm picking on that 14 as my top choice. And our good guy, Jack of all trades, says there's some crypto codes with that one too. I'm going to go with the 9 horse El Prestigio as my second choice. If he can just rerun his debut, build on that at all, take a strong effort to beat that horse in this time out. Number 3, Free Country, along with number 4, Putting Eagle. Those two are all 3 for 3 first-time starters. The 3 horse has a great last workout. It's a bullet and go. What I mean by bullet and go on that 3 horse. According to the Barry Meadows book, The Skeptical Handicapper, horses that have a bullet workout, you see that right here, the last workout before racing for the first time, they win at more than 15%. That's a big number in here. And then Putting Eagle. I don't get too many of those putts, and usually I leave them short when I do. But he's got some back bullet workouts in here too. I love that as well. So again, this is an all race, Terry. I tried to find a way to all it to start off my pick 4, but you almost have to all the last race too. So it's kind of hard to do that. So I went 3, 4, 9, 14, 4, 6, 7, 3, 9 with the 1, 3, 5, and 11. That's a $48 ticket like you. I did a rolling pick 3. I have some money to spend, so I should probably add more horses to my pick 3 here. I would highly encourage everybody to go about picking as many horses as your budget can afford here. Thank you. We love Venezuelans too. North Korea uses Einstein's idea for getting power from the sun explosions. They use nuclear power. Well, that's probably not a bad idea. I mean, 3 Mile Island basically kind of nuked, pun intended, the idea of having a ton of nuclear energy in the United States. You remember that, Terry?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I was in Pennsylvania at that time, but I was totally on the other side of the state. But the way the wind blows, it would have gone from west to east, and we would have gotten the fallout. Any case, Terry, hopefully we don't have a lot of fallout from our poor picks. And well, I can't miss that one. I hope I'm live. We get to the end of that pick 4. But anyhow, what's going on in race 6?
Race 6 is a 6 furlong optional claiming race, $100,000 claiming price if you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed. A purse $127,000 for fillies 2-year-old, which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $100,000.
Yeah, so this is Terry's rent district, the $100,000 horses right there. You see right there. That means if you have Terry's walk around money, you can go in there and buy into Golden Road. But the 2 horse, had it run, was not in for a price. When you're looking at Brisnet, this is how you know which horses are for sale and which ones are not in the optional claiming races. The 6 furlongs, Again, early speed is the best way to win. A little bit less than 1 out of 3 find their way to the winner's circle by leading the pack from start to finish. The horses on the outside tend to do better than the horses on the inside. So once again, Terry, in race number 6, we're looking for some Buffalo girls on the outside with some gas in the tank when the gates open, but looks like it's dead smack in the middle.
It is. It's that 4-horse got lots of speed, so should get that quarter pole first. The 7 shows an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 4 to 1. 7, 6, and 4 show the par plus numbers, and all of them have C zones, and all of them are pretty nice C zones.
Yeah, this should be a pretty comfortable race for everybody in here. A lot of horses want to press forward, so this could be a pretty hot race according to some of the numbers we're seeing here. 4 being the speed of the speed. According to our trip handicapping, most of these races, these horses, Terry, want to be middle of forward, pilot or co-pilots. That should open the door for a horse that has some energy at the end of the race. But early on, it does look like Anna Karina is a little bit quicker than everybody else. So that's the speed of the speed. The 1 and the 8, they really don't factor in on that early speed. So maybe a little bit of fake speed for those two. Go out early, set some tempo, and then fade as the race goes on. Late speed, Echo Sound, along with Thunderkin, but Echo Sound has a 10-point advantage. That's 2 lengths over everybody else. That's a lot of late speed advantage, especially with some of the ability to be forward. Echo Sound is 9 points clear of Oliviera. I mean, you get 10 points past on that total pace score, Terry. There's a really good chance that horse is going to win. Neither one of us have it in the winner spot, but we both have it riding shotgun. We have the same 4 picks. Terry's plagiarizing again.
Well, that's true, except for that's my pick of the day, the 7, Olivier. She won her debut race by a whopping 11 lengths. She has the highest last race speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 6, Echo Sound, is my second choice. She won her debut race and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then the 4 is my third choice. She drops in class today. Her early speed running style helps her chances. She may improve at this shorter distance because her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Had got a bullet workout on September 5th. And then number 5, Rochelle Maybelle, is my long shot. She is 1 for 1 at Churchill Downs, and she can improve while returning to the dirt. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet 10 to win, 20 to place on the 7 horse. I'm going to bet a $5 exacta 7 on top with the 4, 6, 7. I mean, 4, 6, 5, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry about that. No, 4, 5, 6.
Some numbers in there. Just
I got it.
Pull them out of a hat. You'll be all right. Just put that 7 on top, and it don't matter because everything else will come in behind it.
4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to play a daily double of the 7 with all.
17 with all, huh? All right, let me just.
I've got to fix it. So
no, I got it. I got it for you. 7 all. There you go. All righty then. I think the 7 has a good shot to win as well. Oliveira. Any improvement in that second career start, as Terry mentioned, a dominant win could be enough. But I wonder, it's coming from Colonial Downs. Is Colonial Downs to Churchill flat? I know they're both Churchill Downs properties, or is it a track rise to come from Colonial Downs to Churchill? I'm going to say it's a little bit of a hike up in track class. Echo Sound, boy, we saw that horse has a pretty aggressive total pace advantage off of everybody else. Should be right off the front runners, and they're sitting second, maybe third, and then has that late speed to blow away by everybody with a 2-length advantage. That one's sitting close to anything coming out of that turn. Man, they're going to have to work hard to keep that one out of the winner's circle. Last time out, it won despite going 4 wide. So get a more inside trip. A lot of reasons to think that 6 gets better today. Anna Karina, the 4 horse. Well, for what the 6 has in late speed, the 4 has in early speed. That one has maybe a little too much early speed for the rest of this field. Tried a grade 3 at Saratoga last out. Probably way above their ability at this point. Cuts back in distance in class and goes back to Churchill Downs. Has a bullet workout since its last race at Churchill. That's a horse for the course right there, folks. Harkening back to what Mike Smith told us regarding keep an eye on how horses run and train at Churchill because of that peanut buttery-like surface. And then finally, Rosie Hill Maybelle or something along Rochelle Maybelle. I have no idea. But if this one can run back to its Churchill Downs debut, could be good enough to win here. For whatever reason, the horse came out of the barn flying at Churchill Downs. And you know what they decided to do after that, Terry?
No, what did they decide?
Ship it off to New Jersey to Monmouth to run on turf. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Right? I mean, what's the old adage? If it ain't broke?
Don't try to fix it.
Because you're under so much pressure physically, mentally. Maybe we can make them laugh a little bit. Dave, just go on over to horse racing today. I mean, to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, look it up. I will. Let me ask you a question, Tatham. Are Thursdays typically the days that you have the Horseshoe Indianapolis contests in Turkey? If you do, I'll make a note going forward to more often than not make it the free track of the day on Thursdays just for you. That way, when I come over to Turkey, if I ever come over to Turkey, my life won't be endangered. Off to race number 7 we go, Terry, for the first leg of the Daily Double. Terry, in order to get to Daily Double, how did you have to qualify to get into this race?
Well, you got to go 7.5 furlongs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an optional claiming race. Yeah, that's funny. Optional claiming race of $100,000, purse $141,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 18,000 3 times other than maiden, claiming, starter, restricted, or state bred, or which have never won 4 races, or a claiming price of $100,000.
I don't think I would qualify because I haven't. I would qualify here because I don't know that I've won 18,000 3 times ever in my life. I've come, what's like the worst? I'm not going to say beat, but like I had one at Woodbine one time where the smallest payout was like $15,000 for a pick 4. Mm-hmm. And you already know how the story is going to end, folks. There was like 5 horses in the field. I had 4 of them. You know which one won, of course, right?
The one you didn't have, just like it happened to me once.
Yeah. What's your worst beat like that, Terry?
Well, I forget the name of the horse now. I try to forget the name of the horse, but I went down and I went all in the last race of the pick 4 and decided that I didn't want to spend $12 or $15 more dollars. So I took one horse out. And of course, that horse won, and that pick 4 paid like $12,000. I was sick.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, I mean, the worst, another bad beat for me was when Giacomo won the Kentucky Derby. I went to Germany that day, and I told my friend we should put Giacomo in, and I gave him a pick. I gave him a trifecta and a superfecta. Both of them hit. It was the only time probably in 30, 40 years I didn't play the Kentucky Derby. I think I almost cried the entire flight from here to Germany, which is like 7 hours. Long trip. All right, Tatham, I'm going to do you a favor today. All right. So let's see which horses rank out as the best bets today So race number 5, we got the 9 horse as a best bet at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Kathib, keep an eye out on that one. And then in race number 8, we got the 6. Good looking, Justice. So you just think good looking. You think Terry and I. So that way you'll remember race number 8 at Horseshoe Indianapolis. And then race number 9, drink at a cartel bar. There you go. I actually may have done that in my life once, but those are our best bets. I was in Utah. It's probably not a cartel bar. It was a Hell's Angels bar for sure. That was a wild night. All right, Terry, 7.5 furlongs. Bias for the 6 races that they've done at this really tweener distance. Early speed, 2 out of the 6 went wire to wire. I said there'd be no math, but 2 out of 6 is a third. All but one of the winners left from post 7. So you got to think that those, even though a dozen races as an example, have some edge at 7.5 furlongs, Terry. So in race number 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7, it looks like plenty of the speed is found in that grouping.
That's true, but they all show some kind of speed. So I think it's another anyone's guess on who gets where. Mm-hmm. And then the 3 shows an overlay from 2 to 1 to 5 to 1 or 9 to 5 to 5 to 1. The 5 has an overlay from about 7 to 1 to 8 to 1. All but the 2 and 4 show par plus numbers, and all but the 2 have C zones, and the 5 has a really nice Q30.
Yeah, that 5 horse, if it can get to the lead, folks, borderline 30, probably with the 8-horse scratching out. Unfortunately, today, because of obligations I have beginning at 2 p.m. Central, I was not able to factor in the scratches in all of our data today. Our race shape for race number 7, we see that there's really no true front runner. The 1 does have a little bit of EP ability, so it can be a pilot or co-pilot. I'd imagine on the rail, it's going to want to be patient, although you're going to see a couple horses, Arrow Smash and Gulfstream Way, put it to the test. But look at all these horses that are within 6 points of each other. Plenty of horses that are going to get after it when the gates open. They got to be careful not to go too fast. At the end of the race, Gulfstream Way and Extra Anejo. Got to be careful when you pronounce Anejo, or right, you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. WW Candy, those will be coming pretty hard at the end. Again, a bunch of them here, though, very similar numbers. Right now, this race is shaping up to be very competitive, although 2 of them, the 3 and the 9, the 3 being 5 points clear of the 9 being 5 points clear of Ray's Cane. So it looks like the 3 and the 9 should battle it out for first and second. The question is, which one's going to have the edge early on? Terry, you don't even have the 3 in your picks all together. So you say toss that one and instead start with the 1.
The 1, Wrecker Points, my number 1 pick in here, has won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick, likes the distance, finishing the money 50% of the races at today's distance, and won 50% of those starts. And then the 9, Extra Anejo. Anyway, he has.
I think it's a pepper.
Yeah, he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 22% of the races when taking a horse from a route to a sprint, drops in class today, has a high percent winning jockey. Then I like Ray's Cane, the 6. He drops in class today. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Has a bullet workout on August 24th by furlongs. Bromley, the 10, is my long shot. He won his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and has a bullet workout on September 4th. I'm going to play a $1 exacta. I'm going to put the 1 on top with the 6, 9, and 10.
All right, Tafe, for you, I'm putting the numbers in there. So they're in the comment section now. Take a look at that. That's a Horseshoe Indianapolis today. Those are the 3 best bets that we've identified at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Now, mind you, that about 72% of the time they finish in the money. They don't necessarily come in first. So they're good horses to back in terms of exactas, trifectas, to kind of roll them around in your picks or wheel of them. I'm going to start off with the 3, Gulfstream Way. Terry, you saw that horse has a ton of early speed, a ton of late speed. If it can be run, it's last year's September 16th race at Churchill Downs. And it's a very quick trip to the winner's circle. Extra Anejo, the hot pepper horse, Terry, drops from a grade 3 race and does have electric late speed at times. Number 6, Ray's Cane, is my 3rd pick, just like you, Terry. This one did tie for the top last race speed figure. Since that race, has a bullet workout and drops in class. Great combination of stuff there. And then finally, that was a really tough decision for me between the 7 and the 1. But I went with Kavad at Churchill Downs. The horse has run 7 times. Won 3 of them. Completely missed the board in the other 4 races. The start is the everything for this horse, Terry. When it gets forward, that's when it's the all horse. When it doesn't get forward, then it's the nothing horse. Our simulations say the horse should be forward today. So I'm expecting perhaps one of those all trips for me today. Speaking of all, the last race of the day is another one where all is a consideration for your bets, Terry. When you're doing your pick 4s, pick 3s, and the like, what do you see? What are the conditions for this race of 2-year-olds?
6 furlongs, a maiden race, $120,000 purse for maidens 2-year-olds.
All right. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Well, I hope they win today. I don't want you back here threatening us tomorrow with our lives again. At 6 furlongs on the main track, you're looking for some tactical speed again, Terry. 31% of the time, whichever one of these babies gets to the lead. And that's typically how maidens win, too. They're usually co-pilot or pilot, and then they just run around the track and stay there. Being on the outside is better than being on the inside at 6 furlongs, Terry. Again, not enough data to really turn out any simulations. You got a bunch of scratches in here, a bunch of horses where anything can happen. What do you believe will happen?
Number 3, Zandvoort. Zandvoort is my first choice. He ran second in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 5 Quilliton is my second.
Quintillion.
Quintillion.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Well, that's why I don't know anything about it.
That's well, come on.
I don't have it.
You buy the horses that are in for the quintillion claiming.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of quintillion, that's the amount of money we'd like to make around here, folks. And you can help us get there by subscribing if you haven't done so already. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Give us a thumbs up because that helps them with the algorithm. Any interactivity you have with us through your computer ups our score. So when people search, it'll help them find us. We'd greatly appreciate it. Really easy way to help the show. A little bit more hands-on way to help the show is to go over to horseracingtoday.net. See it right there. Hit the HRT gear. Football season's in full swing. Discounts are in full swing, as well as free shipping. Make sure you hook yourself up with some Horse Racing Today gear. Help us become quintillionaires so that we can put a lot more content for you out on our channel to help you find a lot more winners, be it football, horse racing, stock market, you name it, Terry. Now, please finish on your thoughts about quintillion. In my mind, I figured when I saw that horse's name, I would use it for a segue. So I'm grateful that I remembered.
Well, he ran second in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey and a 3 furlong workout on the 8th, which was pretty good. Bracket Buster, the 10's my third choice, ran second in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on September 4th. The 7 Big Boat is my long shot. He's a first-time starter whose dam has 3 winners from 3 starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good 5 furlong workout on September 7th. I'm going to finish up my money by taking a $1 exacta box and box the 3, 5, 7, and 10.
I'm going to start off with the 11 horse in here as my number 1 selection. Kalahari Dreams, again, 3-point system, maximum 1 point for trainer, winning at a high rate for first timers, 1 point maximum for the breeding, 1 point maximum for the workouts. This one gets 3 out of 3 and has some excellent workouts getting ready for today. Number 1, Furio. This one gets 2.8 points for this first time starter. A bunch of strong 5 furlong workouts. I don't think there's any question that Furio will be Fitio today. Zandvoort. That one was the 5-2 favorite in its debut, Terry. That's a pretty good backing from the bettors right there. Likely to be better in the second start after layoff. At least that's the normal trend. And any typical second race improvement might make it difficult for any of those first timers to overcome that horse today. And then finally, Quintillion. Hey, I wanted to use that as a segue earlier. I already did it once. I won't do it again. But finished behind the 3 horse last time out. Got off to a slow start in that race. And normally I don't pay much attention to 3 furlong workouts. Charles has convinced me that the merits don't exist because any trainer can make a horse run fast for 3 furlongs. But what it does tell me, when you look at this horse's start right here, 8th by 9.5 lengths in an 8-horse field, the trainer, Darren Miller, 1,000% wants this horse to get out of the gate faster today. So it did show some really good late speed last time out. So you can see the pace built as the race went on. Most horses in their debut, and this is another good sign, usually they'll see them go like this and then drop at the end. So if that horse gets off to a good start, Quintillion could make us all quintillionaires if we bet what quintillion dollars on it to win. We don't have that. Best bets you listed for, yeah, they were in there for our over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet today. Again, best bets, we just, not necessarily that they're going to win, but we feel like they have the highest probability to finish in the money of the horses at the race that day. It's about 7 different factors that I look at to determine which ones get that designation. Every race has 3 of them, so you can go over there and take a look at that. Again, free picks today being Remington Park. There's a link in the description below. Here are our full picks for today. Again, I'll note, once the show is over, we will post all of our picks along with a replay of the show at horseracingtoday.net. Again, there's that HRT gear link. Click on that. Also, we will timestamp every race because I know it doesn't start to 5 p.m. Eastern. So we'll put a timestamp on every race. You could come back and watch them. So right before race 1 runs, watch our commentary, look at all the data, kind of take a look at what you like, and then put it all together and make your picks. Same thing for race 2 and so on. So that counts as interactivity too. Again, the more interactivity we have between you and us, the higher our rankings go on the SEO scores. The more people will find us, the better likelihood that someday, Terry, with all the inflation that we have, we'll be able to use our quintillion dollars to buy a loaf of bread.
Yep. And Jack of Trades, yes, that's the best picks of the day at Horseshoe Indianapolis.
Yes, indeed. Horseshoe, Indiana, or Indiana Grand. Any final thoughts from you, Terry? There will not be a Foreign Friday tomorrow because our good friend Thomas is making his way back home from Kentucky Downs. We certainly hope he has a safe trip. We'll be back next Friday for sure for some international flavor in our selections. Monday and Tuesday, we'll do parks. I'm not quite sure what'll be on the agenda for Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Remember, the Iroquois and Pocahontas this weekend wagering guide for the opening leg to the road to the 2025 Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks. All right, Terry, that wraps up this week. Any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, if you're playing Churchill's opening day today, have a really good night. I hope you win really a lot of money. And yeah, that's really good. And also just stay safe and have fun and do everything that you want to and treat people the way you think that you want to be treated.
Yeah, go about trying to make somebody's day. Give them a smile, give them a compliment, and then hopefully they will play it forward. No matter what you're doing today for the rest of this day, this evening, we certainly hope that you have God's grace, God's favor, and that every single thing that you wish to accomplish today, tomorrow, and every day till we get together again ends up in our favorite place, Terry. That is only
the winner's circle.
Indeed. We'll see you Monday. Until then, folks, make it a blessed weekend.